Crazy Frog has been an icon of an era gone by, beloved by thousands and a devil's home for others. Throughout the early 2000s, that annoying thing was entirely unavoidable. Many different companies leapfrogged onto the trend for an attempt at profit. Jamba, or Yamba, kickstarted his success with the infamous ringtone that I'm sure we all know today. Many other companies followed behind looking for a way to grab hold of profits, and one of those companies was Neko Entertainment. I hope you go defunct. Like any other low-budget licensed game, Crazy Frog Racer saw himself becoming another mascot kart racing game. At a first glance, this game in general might just seem a bit shit, which it is, but being a Crazy Frog fan I am, I have to rise through and play this game simply for all of you. Before we get into the game itself, perhaps I should go over a bit of backstory. Crazy Frog Racer was released for the PlayStation 2. Ports were created for the Nintendo DS and Game Boy Advance, however these were largely different games. The original game featured less characters than the one I'm playing and overall lacked visually. Following the success of the original game, a sequel was created, appropriately named Crazy Frog Racer 2. However, at some point this game was re-released as Crazy Frog Arcade Racer. Outside of a name change, there doesn't seem to be any changes in the game itself though. However, overall in terms of the content, there's a healthy expansion from the first game. Crazy Frog Arcade Racer greets you with a splendid variety of characters building on the first game. You've got all your favourite staple characters such as the Annoying Thing, Drone, Boss Drone, and MC Death. Most of these characters are ported from the first game, although the new additions are a welcome feature. Although most characters are original creations for the Crazy Frog Racing universe. Only 5 actually originate from the Crazy Frog music videos, 2 of which are variants of Crazy Frog himself. Most of these new characters feel out of place in the Crazy Frog world though, to be honest. Although credit where it's due, the Annoying Drone has a really clever design which fits in perfectly. The tracks themselves are all loosely based on the original Crazy Frog music videos. The game features 4 cups with 3 tracks each. Every cup itself has the same general theme throughout every track. The first cup manages to keep the locations to those seen in the We Are The Champions music video. However, other cups do stray away from the source material. To the game's credit, the newly designed locations look and feel like a part of the Crazy Frog world. However, as racetracks, they're all pretty poor. The camera seems to be in more or less the same fixed position the entire time, often obstructing the player's view of the tracks, making it nearly impossible to properly predict the road ahead and react to it. You could try using the minimap, but all the icons are misaligned. As mentioned, the player has no real influence over the camera's control, yet the exact opposite can be said about the general controls in a really backhanded way. The controls of the game are simple. The player can go either backwards or forwards, and there's even a button to press the horn. Ding. Drifting, a staple of racing games, doesn't seem to be present within the Crazy Frog universe. Most other games would rely on some sort of drift feature for turning, although this doesn't seem to be present within Crazy Frog Racer. Turning does feel natural as pushing the stick manages to curve like a drift, and to be fair, the design of tracks is suited for these mechanics, but it just seems odd that there's no real drift button. A handful of items are in the game too. I don't really know what most of these things are in the first place, to be honest, and pretty much all of them have immediately forgettable designs. To be honest though, I'm sure there's still more items in this game than there are polygons on MC Death. An inconsistency in aesthetic is also apparent. Tracks based on Popcorn and Axel are built around these large environments with clear care and attention being put into their looks. However, tracks from We Are The Champions, Dinga Danga Dong, just float in an extremely bland skybox with assets being randomly inserted for the sake of filling up blank space. It all feels cluttered though, it's just unappealing to look at. Furthermore, the colours are just quite muddy and unpleasing in general to look at. Something else that others might find unappealing is this game's soundtrack. Every song in the game uses an existing Crazy Frog cover. Even the menu uses a medley of Axel and Popcorn. To such a huge Crazy Frog fan such as myself, I can't help but start laughing at how ridiculous some of these covers are. Although I imagine to many the soundtrack will quickly become irritating with the repeated sounds of oddly, minor details are caught up. Crazy Frog's driving animation is imported directly from the Axel F music video. Likewise, the drone also makes an appearance using the same vehicle seen from Axel F. The sub-drones from Popcorn also make a playable appearance using the same device they used to get around in that music video. The same can be said for the boss drone too. I find it really odd that a lot of these subtle details are translated into Crazy Frog's racing endeavours, but then again, you stop racing and realise once again, It's a cheap racing game for commercial profit. And that's the Crazy Frog Racer package. The Crazy Frog Racing series was just another attempt to get a licensed racer out there. Most of the game was just a mess. Execution in many regards was quite frankly abysmal. Yet so many subtle details that made it into the game are greatly appreciated by an avid fan such as myself. Our utopian Crazy Frog era may be long gone. Many have already forgotten him and others will forever know him as the annoying thing. But his music is something I will personally cherish forever. This game, though, I think it's one that should stick with him, see death.